Joining today. My name is Alejandro Sanchez, and I'll be guiding you through our security awareness training for NextDoor Alliance. We work remotely, as you all know, and this means that we're handling sensitive information for our clients, meaning that even though we are not in the same office, we still have to follow strong security practices and policies. Today, I'll walk you through what those are, why they matter, and give you a real example so you can see how they apply to our daily work and for your daily life, because this is not only when you are working, basically. So, a quick introduction. It's that this training is about making sure we all understand how to protect information and avoid mistakes that could harm our clients or NDA directly or indirectly. Why it matters? Well, imagine if you had accidentally sent the wrong file to the wrong client, one that contained private business details that could damage our relationship instantly. SOC 2 compliance is part of why we have these rules. It's a framework that says we know how to handle data securely. Think of it like the hygiene rating in a restaurant. Clients look for it to know they can trust us. It's like the Google reviews. When you go in Google Maps and you leave a good review, you will see, okay, this is a good restaurant because of the reviews. But if you find something that it's not there, or that you cannot trust because something, then you might probably think, I'm not going to use this. It's kind of the same. Our responsibility as remote contractors. Since we all work remotely, we rely heavily on trust. For example, you get a spreadsheet from a client. You can't upload it to your personal Google Drive or Dropbox to work on it later. Or I would even say you won't even try to use this in your computer. Why would you be using a company document in your computer if you have a platform where you can do that? For example, you're working on Salesforce. So why would you take that out from Salesforce, work in your computer, and send it back to Salesforce? Unless it's 100% necessary, you can do it that on Salesforce directly, right? Or the same in Google Sheets, or in your company structure. You're using your own laptop under bring your own device policies. This means that you have to make sure if it's updated, has antivirus, and has a screen lock. As an example, if your kid or if someone else uses your laptop to watch YouTube or to do something or to navigate in the web or to watch a stream, I don't know, whatever, you can have your, let's pretend it's a family laptop or a family computer, and they accidentally downloads malware or something like that, that's still on you. You need to be aware that that's your responsibility. Trust is easy to lose. One mistake, like leaving your laptop unlocked in a cafe, can be enough to lose this trust and to lose these kind of things. Well, the principles of information security. We protect information in three ways: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality. When the right people see it, only the right people see it. Example, if a client sends you payroll info, do not forward it to someone on your team who doesn't work with payroll. Integrity. Keep the data accurate. Examples. If you need to change a shared client report, save a backup so you can restore the original if needed. Availability. Make sure it's there when needed. For example, do not delete or move a shared Google Drive folder without telling your team. The client might suddenly need it. Well, common threats in remote environments. Uh, I would say, and I will give most likely the three most common examples and the common threats here. That is going to be phishing. For example, an email from Microsoft support saying your account will be locked unless you click a link. You should always be careful with this, and you should always double check, like if it's a legit uh, Microsoft account or if it's a legit link. Passwords reuse. You use the same password for your email and your Netflix account, for example. Netflix gets hacked and now your work email is exposed too. This is pretty common because I know many people uses the same password for everything, but you should be aware that you need to change these kind of things, specifically if you're working for a company. Always do not use personal information. Try to use random passwords that you remember. Public Wi-Fi risks. For example, if you're at the airport connected to a Wi-Fi free and check your email without a VPN, someone could see your login details. AI in the security landscape. Well, we're going into a new era of the artificial intelligence. AI is amazing, but attackers use it too. They can fake a CEO's voice and call asking you to send files. They can generate perfect error-free phishing emails that look totally real. So that's why I want you to make sure that you double check these kind of emails and these prompt alerts saying like, hey, it's urgent, we need you to make this. Always double check. On our side, the risk comes when we paste sensitive information into tools like ChatGPT or Gemini. For example, if you paste a client name and contract into ChatGPT to summarize it, you have now put data into a system we do not control. There you can leak data. So this, because this is not something that we control, it's an open source AI system like ChatGPT, for example. So yeah, you need to make sure that, for example, if you put something into these kind of AI languages, you should be always be changing some things and always reviewing what you are putting. Now I'm going to talk about like safe use of AI tools. Like the rule here is simple. Never paste sensitive information into AI tools. Never. Instead, you can redact it. For example, instead of summarize the contract with Acme Corp about our data migration project, say, summarize the contract with client X about a generic migration project. And always ask your supervisor before using AI for client work. That protects you and that protects NDA and also the client. Social engineering and human exploits. Social engineering is when someone tricks you into giving them access. For example, you get a Slack message from someone or a WhatsApp message from someone claiming to be the client's IT person, saying we need urgent access to your Google Drive folder. You don't know them, but because it's urgent, you send the link. These kind of red flags that you can see, it's like, for example, an urgency. Like you will see a message exclaiming an urgency, like we need this now, we need this as soon as possible. Like odd timing, for example, like weird timing that you get these kind of messages. Like, for example, a message at 2 a.m. from someone claiming to be in your time zone, or messages like on a weekend, or things like that. Typos or strange formatting in professional emails. For example, it's pretty common that that these people usually change one letter that you cannot see it, or that you can just pass through. For example, what it usually, or what it can happen, it's like, okay, I'm Alejandro at NextDoor Alliance, says with an S at the at the end of your email address. You need to be aware of that. Or what I usually look for, it's I just copy the extension of the email, like nextdooralliance.com, and I see if that website it's real, will be on Google, and probably won't be flagged. Uh, but for example, if you see like NextDoor Alliance says with an S at the end, and you look for this in Google and you cannot find this in Google, or you see like a weird website or a temporary website, like for example .net or .ai or .aoi, so you should double check and ask. Always ask if you're not 100% sure of these kind of attacks, or if you see one of these red flags. Okay, so we have safe use of AI tools. Um, and actually, I would say this is going to be as well for safe use of secured access and passwords more than AI tools. Um, Here's how to keep access secure. Use passwords that at least 8 to 12 characters long, something like coffee table slash 2025 number, not blue, with a mix of letters, numbers, and symbols, and never reuse the password. Always enable the two-factor authentication. You must enable a two-factor authentication for on all your systems. This will help you to secure the storage, and you can always use a password manager, so you don't have to remember all of them. You can use Google password, you can use Apple password, you can use Bitwarden, 1Password, or whatever password manager you can use, and you can store all your passwords there. For example, one of these things, like if you use the same password for your work email and for your Spotify account, and Spotify gets hacked, someone could try that same password on your work account, and you will be busted. So we need you to take these kind of security things, and so you have a secured access for your work emails and for your work access. Device security and BYOD. I have mentioned BYOD before, but it's important for you to know what is BYOD. It's bring your own device. This is a policy that that you will be provided at your onboarding. And let me explain you what are the responsibilities under this bring your own device policy. Of course, you will be provided with this, but anyways, the responsibilities that this provides is like to keep your antivirus running and your OS updated. Don't let your family members use your work laptop. avoid using it in public spaces where someone could look over at your shoulder or things like that. The the password policies as well are there, and well, things like that. Of course, we may request screenshots to verify compliance with security measures. So with this compliance thing, we make sure that all the employees under NDA or all the contractors under NDA uh, are following these kind of policies and are following these kind of rules as of antivirus, always updates, etc. Well, we have the incident reporting process. Well, what happened here? Like, if you see something suspicious, tell us immediately. As I said, like, if you're not sure of what's going on, always ask for help. Always ask compliance, always ask your supervisor, or you can always contact me at to at support at nextdooralliance.com. Um, we expect you to report something if you get an incident, as for example receiving suspicious email, detecting unauthorized access, or even losing your work laptop or phone. So we can revoke your passwords, we can make something to mitigate these kind of security breaches. The timeline expectations are within the first 24 hours. Of course, uh, we know that probably you lose your work laptop or you get robbed or something like that, but uh, we need you to always contact us and say like, hey, this happened, and please, we're going to be doing the next steps. Confidentiality and data sharing. Well, you're bound by confidentiality even after you leave NDA. This means use only approved tools like Google Workspace or WhatsApp for communication. Do not share files in, in Telegram or in personal emails. Always use your business email, even if you are joining a meeting or if you are sharing something. Always use your company email. Double check before replying or forwarding, and make you a question like, does this person actually needs this information? For example, you get a request from client data from someone who says like, from someone who says like they are on the project, but you never work with them. That's a signal to verify first. So you should always ask like, hey, I don't know you, probably that person is working with you, but you never talked with that person, or you are a, a newbie, you just started but you have never heard of this person, and this person is asking you for information like of vendor information, client information, or something like that. So you need to think first and you need to ask. Like, if you're not sure, as I said, always ask. Well, finally, for this training, I'll be talking about like the violations and its consequences. Well, breaking these rules can have serious consequences. For example, if you knowingly share confidential files outside approved channels, we may have to terminate your contract immediately. And in extreme cases, legal action can follow, especially for things like misuse of data or breaking non solicitation clauses. These rules aren't here to make life harder. They're here to keep NDA and our clients safe. And as I said again, like, this is not this is not making our lives harder. This is kind of what I've said at the beginning of the meeting. Uh, we are based on trust, and we are based on this kind of policies. We have created all this structure and we are complying with all of these things, so we need to follow these rules. And when you are starting the contract, we share these kind of things so you're aware of what are the policies means and what needs to be followed to have a good compliance. And well, with that said, I think that's everything that I have for this. And thank you again for your time. Thank you again for everything.